G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, you are here today because it is Super Rugby Round 5 2025. And some of the most bizarre referee decisions has ever, I guess, occurred in the history of rugby. Occurred just earlier today. And I really feel like I should talk about it and see if we can, as a collective community, make sense of what happened today. Because for the first time ever, a player got sent off for a high shot on himself. Okay, I know. This actually happened today in Super Rugby. So we're gonna have a look at that. That is from a different game. So this review will be Brumbies versus Fijian Drua. But I have to talk about the incident that happened earlier in the Highlanders versus the Hurricanes game. And yes, first up, yes, the Hurricanes are wearing the Bulls jersey, right? They stole the Bulls kit from like 2016 or something, and they are wearing it. It is exactly the Captain America jersey they're wearing. So yes, it is actually, this is 2025, okay? 2025, this is not all replay from like 10 years ago with the South African team, but let's watch what happened. So let's just turn off the sound for now and we'll listen to the explanation in a second. So this is the guy, the defender, went in for the tackle on Tavatava Nawai, and the defender got hit in the head on Tavatava Nawai's shoulder, and there's no head contact to Tavatava Nawai, which is the ball carrier. So no head contact on the ball carrier. All the head contact was on the defender, and the defender was knocked out, and the defender got a yellow card for not protecting his own head. Yes, that's literally what happened, okay? The commentary was very confused, but Justin Marshall explained this. We'll hear that in a second, right? We'll listen to Justin Marshall's explanation in a second. So he gets full brunt of it. There was no head contact on Tavatava Nawai. And referee says,
Here, go to the bin. Explain this one. So it's unfortunate, because he's obviously gone off, but it is foul play. He's always upright with his head contact. It means yellow card threshold. Okay, so it's a yellow card.
So the referee did not explain it properly, but Justin Marshall will explain this in a minute, okay? So let's listen to what Justin Marshall says.
Explain it to everybody out there, the viewers, that the law protocol is that the defender, he is responsible for that collision. So the defender must make a real effort to get lower than the ball carrier. And what they're saying here is nothing Nani Kiwi did not do that. That resulted in head contact. Yes, he is the recipient of the head contact.
Do you hear that? Yes, he is the recipient of the head contact, says Justin Marshall.
It is going off the field. However, the law is that it was his responsibility to protect that. He didn't do it by the letter of the law.
So he is responsible to protect his own head from making a high shot on himself. That's literally what Justin Marshall is trying to explain to you.
And unfortunately,
And he did not follow to the letter of the law, and he got sent off for a high shot on himself. This just happened, okay? So, yeah, I didn't know this was a thing. I've never seen this before. And in fact, I've seen similar instances happen, and the referee just like, oh, well, bad luck. You're off, and get somebody else on, let's play on. And this is the first time they got yellow carded, even penalized for getting themselves knocked out into in a high shot situation, right? Now that's one thing. The second thing that I think a lot of Fijian fans is screaming about is the denied try to, what's his name? Ikanaveri against the Brumbies on the 56th minute. So the try was awarded by the referee on the field, and then the penalty had been taken by Armstrong Ravola, and there everybody's heading over to do the kickoff, and then the TM goes, hang on, wait up. We're going to have to look at the potential knock-on the try. And the referee goes back. They shot a video of the try being, there was a dislodgement of the ball. And there was separation here. The ball bounces off the ground, lands underneath Incarnaveri. And there's no try. So this is actually a new law. So in the previous times, before 2022, you can actually, as soon as you kick the ball, for the conversion. You cannot go back to revert the penalty, to reverse the try anymore. But in 2022, there was an incident, and this is called the Foley clause. I call it the Foley clause because there was an incident involving Foley in 2022. I think a lot of people remember this one, right, where he was penalized for time wasting and costing the Wallabies a chance at Bledisloe Cup, essentially. Not a chance, but winning one of the games of Bledisloe Cup. They had no chance in New Zealand, but hey, it was pretty infamous moment. But what you don't remember is earlier in that game, this incident happened where there was a forward pass between Foley to Callaway that scored a try, and the TMO was reviewing it, and the referee, as you can see here, is telling Foley, don't kick the ball, we're reviewing the try, and Foley ignored the referee, kicked the goal, thus stopping the process of the TMO review for the forward pass. And since this incident, the World Rugby has changed the law that you are still allowed to overturn a try up until the kickoff. And that's basically what happened here. They kicked the penalty, they kicked the conversion. The referee's still allowed to reverse it before the kickoff. And yes, this is what I call the Foley clause. So, what I did think was a little bit interesting was that I actually don't think the TMO has all the evidence that is required to actually disallow this try, because the law is that the TMO needs to have clear and obvious evidence to overrule the on-field decision of a try. Now, the law states that there needs to be clear separation between the ball and the player for this to be disallowed. Clear separation means that you need, for the TMO, you need to actually see like a gap between the ball and the player. Unfortunately, I think the player did drop the ball, but I don't think the TMO, based on the shots that is available, could say that there's clear separation like this one here. The ball might still be touching his chest. It might not be. So there's no clear evidence that the ball had actually created a separation between Ikanaveri and his chest because of this leg blocking. And then even here, there's no clear evidence that the ball has created a gap between the player and his body, even though most likely he did knock the ball on and there was a separation. But the camera angle, I personally don't think there's a clear and obvious evidence that there's a separation. And keep in mind, in the process of scoring a try, you don't have to have control of the ball. Like, the ball could literally be, so if I'm holding the ball and he rolls out to my head, right, and then he grounds the ball with my head, that is still a try in the process. That will be a knock on in like a tackle, but this will still be a try if the ball goes grounded with my head, because as long as he hasn't created a separation, right, as long as there hasn't been a gap between the ball rolling from my chest all the way out to my head, there's still a try. In fact, any parts of the body will still be a try. So that's also a bit of a bizarre situation there, but yeah, it is what it is. The Honduras wasn't able to get that through, losing this one. I thought there was big improvements by the Fijian Honduras performance tonight. The last time the two teams played, the Brumbies basically won the game with their line out and their maul. Just kept it really tight. And the Honduras wasn't able to defend the structure of the rolling maul from the Brumbies in the first match. And this time, it's the other way around. The Honduras was just dominating the Brumbies in the line out and in the line out maul. And the Brumbies maul was just falling apart, especially in the second half. The Honduras probably could have got a yellow card or a penalty try at the end of the game there if they had chosen to go for the line out maul again. But I felt like maybe they wanted to rush the try and potentially get another one in extra time to win the match. But yeah, I felt like if the referee gave 2 penalties for collapsing the maul, which I think probably already should have caught a yellow card there, to be fair with you. And then the Honduras went for a tap after the second penalty. So I thought that was probably Yeah, probably a mistake there from the Druas. Anyway, still really good effort. The offload game from the Honduras was absolutely sublime today. Just half breaks and then just offloads, which led to pretty much all the tries that scored tonight from the Honduras. Really, really outstanding. The Honduras did have some offside issues. So this is something to do. I think this is to do with the rush defense. So the Honduras are doing this thing where they're basically doing this the Springbok style rush defense, and the players are basically running back and forth, and I just think that after a few laps, the players gets a bit tired and they just don't go all the way back before turning around and pursue the rush defense again. And I think that's just training and discipline and really having that, you know, that clear head to get yourself all the way back on side before rushing forward again. I think that penalized that left the Honduras a lot of penalties, especially in the first half. From that defense. For the Brumbies, there was a lot of up and unders. Again, I thought the pressure was okay. Like there wasn't much of like a clean takes from the Brumbies from those pressures, but they were able to knock the ball back on themselves, which seems to be the strategy. I thought Charlie Kale was really, really good. Both were carrying the ball. Some little grubber kicks from him as well was excellent. Again, Reimer was absolutely outstanding to finish the game for the Brumbies. Turnovers and scoring a try as well in crucial last few minutes to win it all for the Brumbies. They have a lot of seal on the field, and they did do a bit of a shift in their defense pattern. A lot of seal didn't really just stand on a 10 channel like he did in the first game and got ran over again and again and again, leading to a concussion. He was moved to the back line and moved to the sides a bit to avoid those frontal collisions there, which I think is a good shift for his style, which is how they use him at the Wallabies anyway. And I thought that Brumbies, the rush defense just wasn't really working for the Honduras. Once the Brumbies get the ball out wide to Tom Wright, he was giving just a bit too much space, and he was able to step through the defense with quite a bit of ease as well. And also with some of the kicking game from the Fijian Honduras wasn't pressured enough, and Tom Wright was just giving way too much space, leading into a number of tries and setting up a couple of tries at least. And Len Iketel scored 3 tries this game. So overall, I thought there was an improvement on Honduras on the parts that they were weak on. But I think the Brumbies were just a little bit too smooth, and I think the discipline really hurt the Honduras a little bit here today. Let's have a look at the stats today. 6 tries for the Brumbies, to the Honduras 3. 487 run meters for the Brumbies and 324 for the Honduras. 15 turnovers conceded only against the Brumbies, only 9 for the Honduras, so really well done there. 145 tackles made for the Brumbies, 17 missed tackles, and Honduras 122 tackles made, 26 missed tackles. That's what I'm talking about. The rush defense isn't quite good enough in my opinion. The structure is just a bit loose, and then like as soon as the Brumbies isn't quick enough to shut down the Brumbies from getting the ball out wide, and once they do get out wide, there was just the rush defense is creating gaps in their own defense in the Honduras side, and then players like Tom Wright just run through for freebies left and right. 22 kicks from half on the Brumbies to the Honduras. Sorry, 22 kicks from half on Brumbies to the Honduras 26. 3 missed conversions by a lot of CO. It's a little bit, goal kicks, and there was one from Armstrong Ravula. Pretty easy one, so a bit of a miss, but yeah, there was a lot of missed goals for a lot of CO. He's usually much better than that. Lineouts, 2 losses for the Brumbies, 1 loss for the Honduras, 11 total for both. Scrum was pretty even. There was a few short arms. I thought the referee got a bit impatient. Should have just let it ride out a little bit. 10 penalties conceded on both sides. There was 1 yellow card against the Honduras. One on the Honduras number 7 for a swinging forearm to the head on the Brumbies player late in the game. So that's probably not desirable, but didn't really make much difference to the overall result of the game. So let's do a quick recap of what happened in the match. This was a lot of back and forth. Both teams were reluctant to kick penalties early. In fact, the Brumbies, I was really happy with the Brumbies. The fact that they didn't kick penalties pretty much at all. There was one, I think, attempt that was before half time anyway, so it was like the game clock already ran out. But other than that, the Brumbies were just happy to take the lineouts and work on their set piece. So both teams did this. Ravola missed the early penalty as well. The Drua. It took about 18 minutes to finally for the Brumbies to score their first try. There was a lot of forward momentum, quick balls around the breakdown. There was a penalty advantage for the Brumbies. The ball got shifted out wide. Then Iketel just cut through for the try. He bumped in over 3 defenders for this one. There was 7 were down 7 points to 0 to the Brumbies. 22 minutes again, there was a penalty. Again, the Brumbies win for the line out. Lots of crash ball, pick and go, and eventually there was a big run with Charlie Kale, and then and then what's his name? Yeah, there was a nice run with Charlie Kale, and then there was offload to Hooper, I think. He could pick and go and got really close, and eventually Ryan Lonergan saw this gap in front of him, just picked the ball up, dotted it down. 14 points to 0 right in front of try line. 25 minutes in the game. There was a Tom Wright stuck his hand out like this as one of the Drua player kicked over the top of the ball, and then the Drua player ran into his arm and then got knocked over. I thought this was probably, well, yeah, this was a bit of over exaggeration. He like just ran past and then like did a dive. This was a bit of a too much of a dive for me. I think, yeah, Tom Wright shouldn't stuck his hand out, but I don't think the Drua player should just take a dive like that. Anyway, there was a penalty, and then the Drua took a tap, and then there was just like a nice pass to number 8, the big man, Kana Kiavata, just crashed over the Brumbies line. 4 points to the 7. 28 minutes in the game, some nice offload from Lonergan. The Brumbies got almost through. There was penalty advantage again. The ball came out over the top. The ball was knocked loose by the Indurus, and the Ikitel scooped up the loose bounce, went over for the try. 21 points to 7. 32 minutes in the game. Again, Tom Wright just dummy and ran through a defensive gap. Linked up with Muirhead, ran through for the try. 28 points to 7. Going to half time. Second half, immediately the Indurus looked a lot better. There was some nice offloads from the Indurus. There was there was a lot of just half breaks and offloads halfway. Well, eventually there was another half break, and then there was a player, I can't remember who it was, just did like a backflip, the ball to number 7, Murray, and he goes in for the try. 28 points to 14. 48 minutes in the game, there was another kick over the top. Ravula, by Ravula, and then he kind of just like Armstrong Ravula just scooped up the bounce and just ran through for the try. The big man, 28 points to 21. 50 minutes into the game, Tom Wright again got a ball, kicked to him. If just gap in the defensive line from the Indurus rush defense. He just ran through. There was open space out wide through the long pass. He bounced off the ground for Muirhead, and Muirhead ran up, drew the last defender, popped to Ikitau in for the try. 33 points to 21. There was a 50 minutes in the game. This basically happened. In Canaveri try was disallowed. There was 74 minutes. There was 2 more sacked. Illegal sack by the Brumbies. The Indurus should have just gone for another more, and they would have got the yellow card and maybe a penalty try there. But they went for the tap, and then Luke Reimer turned the ball over the. There was penalty, turn it over. So really just on the try line. 78 minutes. The Indurus number 8 got sent off for a high shot, and finally 79 minutes again there was a penalty to the Brumbies. Tap and go, pick and dry, and eventually Luke Reimer, the guy that saved the try in the other end, scores this one himself. Really well done. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on this game. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching this video, guys. And I do have Six Nations review coming up tomorrow, so I'll see you guys then. Have a good one. Cheers.